Janine Rees is a 30-year survivor of domestic abuse and 4 years of post-separation and systems abuse. Now, gendered violence is an all too common and tragic problem, with one woman a week murdered by their partner. And Janine is committed to help end it. It's a conversation Janine says desperately needs to change the culture and save lives of women and children. It's also Janine's reason for a candidacy for the seat of Rhine in the 2022 federal election. However, just last week, the Australian Electoral Commission deregistered the Australian Progressives because of a clerical error by them, which could see Janine running as an independent candidate for the seat of Rhine. Good morning, Janine.
Good morning, Michael. How are you?
Good, thanks. Now, stepping up to run for federal parliament in an effort to drive some actionable, real change to end this scourge. What has led you to this?
Well, the most dangerous place for women and children is in their home, and this needs to change. We have the right to live in safety. We have the right to equality and freedom. And currently, when we leave domestic violence situations, we find that the systems that are meant to protect and support us are failing us dismally, and that was my driving force and spurred me on to become someone who can actually affect change. I think we need people with lived experience at the decision-making table to address the failings of the systems that are not helping women post-separation.
Now, the awareness of this problem, it can't be disputed. We have inquiry after inquiry and talk fest after talk fest, but nothing seems to change, and it definitely doesn't seem to be mitigating. And what would you suggest actually needs to change?
Well, we don't actually have laws yet in this country. Domestic violence isn't a crime yet. Coercive control isn't a crime. So we need protective measures for women's safety and for children's safety. I think one of the biggest hurdles is are the financial barriers that women come up against. So we have a pay gap. That's something that we need to address. Women are the main carers usually, so we lose lots of super. We don't have housing needs met. There's not appropriate affordable housing for women who've left domestic violence situations. There's no financial support for women. So those financial barriers are huge. But also, the justice system is letting us down. We can achieve a protection order to keep us safe, but often when women report breaches of the protection order, we find that the police don't follow those issues up. So that's a very common problem that victims of domestic violence are facing. Another issue is the family law system. Women can't afford legal support. Legal aid is almost non-existent, basically, for victims of domestic violence. And probably one of the biggest issues is that there's no perpetrator accountability. So lots of areas that need addressing and laws changed to protect women and accountability.
Janine, do we need new laws, or do we just actually need the current laws properly enforced? So we know the most dangerous time for a woman is immediately after applying for the IVO or AVO, depending on where you are. And if we know that, and we know exactly where it's going to happen, I don't understand why we don't put measures in place to protect them during that time, where it's just, here's your piece of paper, out you go, off on your own, and there are breaches reported and there seems to be no penalty for it.
That's true. That's exactly what's happening. There seems to be no penalty for it. And I don't know why the laws that we have currently aren't being enacted. We need a federal ICAC. We need measures that look into why these things aren't happening and why the systems are failing women and children. I don't know why these laws aren't being properly followed up and women's safety supported, but we need that to happen. I think in the family court system, what we're seeing often is that a woman with a protection order sees the family court judge ignoring that order or throwing that order out and ordering contact with the perpetrator. So we have systems working against each other, and women being failed and children being failed regularly. And it's something that the general public are not aware of. So that's another reason why we need to bring this into light, out into to expose what's happening for women once they leave, or what's not happening. More importantly, for women once they try to escape. Yes.
All right, Janine, sadly we've got to leave it there. Good luck with such an important issue, and good luck with your candidacy for the federal seat of Ryan.
Thank you, Michael.